Hello and welcome to the analysis of the Hindu newspaper dated February 16th, 2023. In this video, we are going to talk about two important newspaper articles which are going to be very important for the civil services examination. So let's start with the first important newspaper article and then we'll talk about the other newspaper article. So the first newspaper article talks about India's Mental Health Care Act 2017. It also talks about the various challenges and implementation of the Mental Health Care Act 2017, and it also talks about NHRC's report regarding the inhuman and deplorable conditions in the facilities, right? So this kind of newspaper article is important for the GS paper too, that is issues relating to development and management of social sector health services relating to health, and it is also important for the government policies and interventions for development in various sectors and issues arising out of their design and implementation. So first let's understand the report which has been flagged by NHRC, then we'll talk about the Mental Health Care Act. Now the NHRC in a report has flagged the inhuman and deplorable condition of all 46 government-run mental health care institutions across the country. So there are 46 government-run mental health care institutions which have been visited by the National Human Rights Commission, and they have found that the cured patients are being kept illegally in hospital, that is they are kept for 1 or more years, and at the same time there is acute shortage of doctors and staffs, which means that the infrastructure of the mental health care institutions is in the ICU, right? So now what exactly is this mental health? Mental health is basically a state of well-being in which every individual realizes his or her own potential, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively, and is able to make a contribution to her or his community. And if any of these things takes a back steps, if you are not able to function productively, if you are not able to maintain, or if you are not able to get through the normal stresses of life, and at the same time you are remaining very unhappy and in the all states of mind, then you are a victim of mental health crisis, right? And you will be governed under the MHA Act. Now the MHA Act discourages long-term institutionalization of the patients and reaffirms the rights of people to live independently and within the communities. If the people who are facing the mental health issues, they live within the communities, then they are going to get more support from the community. This is the basic essence of the MHA Act. Now this right is doubly guaranteed under the Rights of the Persons with Disabilities Act of 2016, and the previous act, the Mental Health Care Act 1987, prioritized the long-term institutionalization of the mentally ill people and provided disproportionate authority to judicial and mental health establishments. But now this has turned into just 1 year. You can keep a patient for 1 year and then you have to rethink about whether he or she can be mingled with the communities or the society. Now the second thing it talks about, this particular act talks about, is the attempt to commit suicide, which is not an offense now anymore, right? So a person who attempts to commit suicide will be presumed to be suffering from severe stress and shall not be subjected to any investigation or prosecution. If someone goes on to take his or her own life, then that person will come under the severe, it will be assumed that he or she has come under severe stress, and that is why it needs to be not illegal. That person should not go to the jail. That person should go to the mental health care facility, right? And the third thing this particular act talks about is the promotion of the community living. So the government was made responsible for creating communities to access less restrictive options for the community living, such as halfway homes, sheltered accommodations, rehab homes, and supported accommodations, which basically ensures that the person who is suffering from the mental health issues basically does not get isolated from the communities, and they get well off with the communities as well. And apart from it, this particular act discourages using physical restraints. You can no longer use the methods like chaining, and it also objects to unmodified electroconvulsive therapies, the kind of therapies you have seen in the movies. Now they do not basically happen in the mental health care institution, and the provisions of this particular act are such that it promotes the establishment of the central mental health authority and state mental health authorities. Now the central mental health authority is there, but state mental health authorities are not there in many of the states, right? Now this particular act also provides some of the rights. So the rights are such that right to make an advance directive, right to appoint a nominated representative, right to access mental health care. It pushes for the rights to hygiene, sanitation, food, recreation, privacy, and infrastructure, basically about the institution which provides the mental care health care services, right? Now it also provides our right to get free medicines, the right to protection from the cruel, inhuman, and degrading treatment, right to live in an environment safe and hygienic, having basic amenities, and it also talks about right to legal aid. So these are some of the provisions regarding the act. Now let's talk about the challenges which basically accrue to the implementation of this particular act. First one is the violation of the rights. So there is the NHRC has found that there is the kind of illegal confinement which is happening. NHRC found that almost 36.25% of the residential service users in a state of in state psychiatric facilities were living there for 1 or more year, which is a straight away violation of the MHA Act. Now it violates Article 21 of the Constitution, which protects personal liberty. And then we also have the infringement of the human rights of the mentally ill patients. They are not treated well in the facilities. Now apart from the violation of the rights of these particular we also have the infrastructure issues. We have the shortage of facilities. There are issues of shortage of doctors, lack of infrastructure, lack of community homes for the assisted living, and socio-economic opportunities are basically absent. If we talk about the procedural issues, then there is NHRC officials have seen non-compliance to MHA regulations by the institutions. So a majority of the states have not established the Central Mental Health Authority and State Mental Health Authority, which is a deep violation of the MHA Act. Now, many states have not notified minimum standards which are meant to ensure the quality of the MHEs. And we also have the state mental authorities which was required to be meet at least 4 times every year, but it has remained inactive until the August 2022. Apart from it, we have the societal issues regarding the implementation of the MHA Act. So the social stigma that looks at a person with mental illness as a criminal deserving of incarceration. Apart from it, we have the budgetary we do not have any kind of budgetary allocation towards it, and whatever the budgetary allocation is, it's very poor, right? Now this leads to shelter homes remaining under-equipped, understaffed, and under-trained, right? So these are some of the issues regarding the implementation of this particular act. Now let's talk about how India is tackling mental health. So basically, the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare announced a national suicide prevention strategy in November 2022. We have the National Health Program since 1982. We have District Mental Health Program since 1996. We have Kiran Helpline, which is basically functional from the 2020, and it provides 24/7 toll-free helpline. We also have the Manodarpan initiative by the Ministry of the Education, and recently a Manas mobile app has been launched in 2021, and it promotes mental well-being across age groups. Now the problem is not regarding the policies regarding the mental health. What's important is the ground implementation of it, and it is not happening, as we have seen in the MHA Act as well. So what we need is basically the robust implementation of the Mental Health Care Act. We need less policies and more implementation of them, right? So this is it regarding this particular newspaper article. Let's now head to the next important newspaper article. Now this particular newspaper article talks about a study which have been conducted regarding the Antarctica's glaciers. We'll understand the context of it, and then we will also talk about the major pointers in this particular newspaper report. Why is this article important? It's important for the GS paper 3, that is climate change, right? So scientists studying Antarctica's vast Thwaites Glacier. So this is a glacier which is present in Antarctica. It has been nicknamed the Doomsday Glacier. Now this particular study says that warm water is seeping into its weak spots of Thwaites Glacier, and this is worsening the condition over there, and it is melting this particular glacier, which will lead to somehow increase of the ocean of the sea level, right? So now the Thwaites is roughly the size of Florida state in the United States. Now it represents more than half a meter of the global sea level rise potential and could destabilize neighboring glaciers that have the potential to cause a further 3-meter rise. This is the importance of Thwaites Glacier, which is in deep problem, right? And as part of the International Thwaites Glacier collaboration, a team of 13 US and British scientists have spent about 6 weeks on the glacier. And what did they do? They monitored the glacier using an underwater robot vehicle known as IceFin. Now, in one of the papers, which has been presented by the Cornell University, said that the melting was of grave concern, right? So we need to take care of these things as well. Climate change is happening at a very rapid pace. So we need to stop the climate change at all cost, or at least reduce some of the climate change by using green solutions. So this is it regarding this particular newspaper article, and this is it for the day. Thank you from my side. Do like and share the video and subscribe to this channel. Have a good day. Bye.